on, everybody? This is Eno. Welcome to episode 3 of our Mossberg 500 project. Today we are going to install the ATI 5-sided foregrip or forearm. This is a pretty cool thing right here. So it's all aluminum construction. Get that out of the box. There we go. It's all aluminum construction, has 5 Picatinny rail mounts, so the world is your oyster with this guy. Whatever you want to throw on there is good to go. So that's pretty sweet. Let's go ahead and install this on our Mossberg 500, but before we get to that, let's check out what else comes with it. So these are going to be our spacers or adapters. And these are going to adapt to, different styles of gun. So we will use some of them, but not all of them. Then underneath here are the rails. A whole bunch of them. And some bolts for said rails. Some more rails. And our ever important instruction manual, which for ATI means print it up on a printer and staple it together and throw it in a box. So there we go. That's what we're going for right there. So let's get started, shall we? Okay, so just to simplify things, we've gone ahead and removed our barrel already, and so now what we need to do is disassemble the rest of the gun. We need to actually get the foregrip, the forend, off of the gun. So I have the side saddle mounted to this, so this trigger, instead of being a trigger pin, it's actually a bolt. So we're going to back that out. There she comes. Then you can just lift the trigger assembly right on out. From there we can remove that shell keeper. There we go. And just kind of line that up. Out that comes. And you can just remove the foregrip. So the rest of it we can actually just leave in there because we're not going to need to remove the bolt or the elevator for just to install this. So for right now we can leave the rest of that in there. We'll move that aside and we'll concentrate on this guy. So how you get this off of here, which would be our next goal, is you have to unscrew this top area here, and if you notice there are 2 little notches there and there, there. And oh sure, they sell a specific wrench to do that. And of course I don't have it. So just really any kind of flat thing that will, side of a wrench, really just anything that you can fit in there will do. And all you do is just screw that off. Okay, now that that is off, you need to get this out. And the easiest way to get this out is if you look down inside there. I don't know if you can see this, but there's some notches inside of there, and you might be able to see that. But if you look down there, you'll be able to see them. And the easiest way to get this out is you just stick a piece of pipe in there. So off that comes. Just remove your pipe. And there we go. So that is now removed. That is now removed. So there we have our forearm. All disassembled, and we're ready to move on. Okay, so next we need to slide on the adapters, and there's a little chart in the instruction manual right there that has the front adapter and rear adapter, exactly what type of gun you're trying to put this on. And then it has a series of adapters that are marked. They're just marked on the inside there. And these are what you have to put on. Now, in the gap here, there's a piece of plastic. This piece of plastic right here needs to come out. Okay, so now we have our spacers ready. We have all those cut and ready to go. And the two spacers that we are using are the MR3 and the MF1. So I assume that the M stands for Mossberg and the R stands for rear, because this one goes in the rear. So you want to place it with the cut end facing up on the tube. Just slide that all the way back as far as it will go. Next, you can install your foregrip, and this will interface very nicely with the notches on the spacer that you just installed, so that will just kind of lock right on there. Now the fore one, or the front one, has the collar here, which again interfaces with the foregrip, and then it has a little bit of a collar in there to which this thing kind of sits down inside of, like that. So it works out pretty good. So you'll get what I mean when you look at it. Oops, there you go. So we're just going to kind of slide that on, just like that. And there's also a little notch down on the bottom, so if you're looking at it from the top, the notch is down here on the bottom that this thing is sliding into. So you can't get this thing crooked, because if you do, it won't go on. I'm going to put a little bit of lube, a little bit of grease, oops, a little bit of grease on those threads, just a teeny weeny bit, not a lot. We're not getting all messy. And we'll go ahead and begin to screw this in. Now, because you have this wedge on there, it makes this a little difficult. So you want to be real careful you're not cross-threading this, because you're not going to be able to tell until it's way too late. Alright, so there we go. Looks pretty good. As tight as you can get it. And that will really lock that on there. Once these spacers are in place and they're kind of wedged, once these spacers are in place and this top cap is screwed down and everything's wedged into place, I mean, it really doesn't move. And because they're keyed on the bottom, it's guaranteed to be straight. So there's our foregrip, and let's go ahead and reinstall this. We can put this in our parts bin. Okay, so now we're ready to reinstall the foregrip. So we just slide this onto the end of the barrel. Like that. And this is just going to basically go back together in reverse of how it came apart. There we go. Let's get our barrel back on board. There we go. I'll zoom out here so you can see this. Oops, wrong way. There we go. So, quick little function check. Everything seems to be working just fine. Alright, so what I did here is I took all the little Picatinny rails out of the packages, and also the bolts, which I have right over here. And I just wanted to quickly show you this so you understand how this works. Now, there's a couple different types of rails in here. Most of them look like this. They're just regular straight rails. They kind of have a rounded off corner, which looks nice. And those can just slide, oops, right on just like that. And then a couple of them will have an angled top, if you can see that. So instead of being straight like that, it's angled. And what that angle does is it follows the angle of the foregrip. So if you put that on right there, as you can see there, it nicely conforms to the angle of the grip. If it was straight, it would hang out a little bit up there. Alright, let's zoom around out. Oops. There we go. Zoom it out. So there we go. Got our ATI foregrip on there. Starting to come together. Got our top rail mount, got our heat shield, got our foregrip. Now the interesting question is, what are we going to put on the foregrip? Well, for that you're going to have to wait till next time. So, there you go. Hope you enjoyed. Take her easy.